We've heard this expression 100 times. If you want to feel good, if you really want change in your life, you can't bring your old baggage with you. So in today's episode, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to share my experience on how a childhood event affected and clogged my entire energetic light field, and how I use gamification so I could start feeling safe and loving in my own body. So let's get started. So when I was about 11 or 12 years old, my girlfriend invited me to her birthday party. And I was so excited. This was my first time ever going to a party with kids, like kids my age. So I did my hair, I wore my new fluorescent jersey dress. It was the 80s. I still remember putting on those big long earrings, and I felt really good. I went over all the matriarch rules in my head. Don't do anything stupid. Don't say anything stupid. Use your manners. And most importantly, watch out for boys. But I didn't really pay much attention to it because I knew I was just going over to my girlfriend's house, so it wasn't a big deal. I strut out of the house, got my confidence. I got my leg warmers, were hiding my furry little legs, and I had my head held high because I had bleached my mustache. So other than the sun hitting it on the sides, I felt like you couldn't see it. So I felt really beautiful. If this was a montage, this would be the scene where the wind was blowing, well, not blowing too hard because my hair didn't move. There was so much hairspray in it, but I still felt really good. And I get to my girlfriend's house, I'm a little nervous, but then I walk in and it's like I'm at my grandmother's house. It's a carbon copy. I'm like, holy fuck, it's the Matrix. The only difference is they're talking Portuguese instead of Italian. The adults are downstairs, hanging out. All the kids are on the main floor watching television. I'm excited. It's just me and another girlfriend from school, and the rest are all her family members. It's a good old-fashioned neighborhood birthday party. So I'm just hanging out there, minding my business, and me and my girlfriend are talking a little bit. We're giggling, and she gets hungry. So she's like, I'm going to go downstairs and get a bite to eat. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hang out here and wait for you. So I'm still watching television, and then a few seconds into the show, all of a sudden, somebody turns the TV off. So I'm like, oh, okay, it must be time for us to go downstairs. So I get up to go downstairs, but then two of the boys all of a sudden block the door. And I'm like, okay, I'm still trying to feel good, but I do have this uncomfortable feeling that's kind of coming over me, but I'm like, there's nothing to worry about. You're in her living room. It's not a big deal. I casually start to walk towards the door, and as I get to the door, one of the boys just shoves me back really hard onto the couch, and he's like, don't mind us if you get pregnant. And that's when I'm like, holy shit, that's a pretty big goodie bag that they're giving away at this party. All I gave my girlfriend was a t-shirt and some earrings. I'm kidding. That's not what happened at all. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I thought to myself, how could this be happening? I did every single rule that I was told. I was just sitting there, and I didn't know. I just started feeling very overwhelmed. But I was back on the couch, and I thought, fuck this shit. So I leaped off the couch like a caged mountain lion, and I just started swinging, and I just started kicking. I just started freaking out at anybody that came close to me, especially my hair. I'd spent so much time on my hair. I didn't want them touching my hair. So my adrenaline was going through the roof, and what felt like an hour was probably only a couple minutes. And my girlfriend's sister, she finally comes into the room, and she announces that it's cake time. I'm like, are you kidding me? What the fuck? Cake time? Your family just tried to sexually assault me in your living room like a bunch of pent-up hormonal monsters, and you're offering them cake? Well, that's what I felt like. But in my mind, I was just in shock. I was quiet. And I just walked out that door. And again, I walked to the stairs, and I was in front of all their parents. And again, I wanted to yell out, your fucking kids upstairs? They're monsters. They're awful. I don't know if they were joking around. I don't care if they were joking around. I'm 11 years old. I didn't say anything. This was my first birthday party. I wanted to find a phone really fast, and I wanted to call my uncle. And I wanted to tell my uncle everything that happened. And my uncle is a cross between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Now, yes.
And I wanted him to walk into that house, and I wanted to tell him what happened. And then I wanted to see him beat the shit out of these guys like there were piñatas hanging from a tree. And this was all a fantasy in my mind. And then the next thing I thought, damn it, if I do tell my uncle, two things are gonna happen. 10 Cadillacs, okay, not 10, at least 3 Cadillacs are gonna show up at this fucker's house. And these guys are gonna come out, my family's gonna come out with bats in their hands, and they're gonna walk into this house and they're gonna beat the shit out of these guys. And the people that are going to jail are definitely not the people that caused this whole thing. And the second thing that could happen was this is gonna be the very last birthday party that I see for a very long time. So as I stood on that stairwell waiting, I did what any Italian girl my age would do. I gave them my first ever evil eye. Every single one of them. Now, I don't need to give you the details of what proceeded to happen to them that month, but let's just say that my girlfriend had a family trauma story to tell every week. Now, I'm not gloating that it actually worked because this episode isn't about how to create and manifest the perfect curse, but it was kind of cool. But it's simply to show you how easy it is for a program to get trapped in your energy field. And, I probably could have used a lighter example, something a little more black and white, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is for us to carry an event throughout our entire lives and carry it in a manner that doesn't serve us anymore. So we have hundreds of these little programs playing subconsciously in our energy field. So it's not so much that you're filled with anxiety, or you're too sensitive, or you're crazy. It's just that something has triggered one of these hidden programs, and it has released chemicals tied to that experience into your body. That's all it is. Before we begin, I just want to be clear. This is how I dealt with helping myself release old blocks and old beliefs and other traumatic experiences. I'm not a doctor or a licensed therapist, even if my parents wish I was. I'm just sharing my process with you in the hopes that it's going to help you feel better in your life. Because you know what? You deserve it. And I want you to know that. And no schmuck or experience should rob you of a happy life. So how does a program or a block get created in our body? So when we have a traumatic experience, we automatically try to bury the pain. It's a safety mechanism for our brains. So we cut ourselves off from the physical body by taking our consciousness away from that experience. Next, we cut off our thoughts and our emotions by tensing our muscles, and then we repress it into our unconscious. Now, to keep this buried, we create all kinds of distractions to take our attention away. You may overwork, you may turn to food or drugs or alcohol. Wait, those actually aren't too bad. You may even start to project and blame other people for the state that we're in instead of releasing this pain. We believe that the only way to get rid of this pain is to block it and to stop the energy flow. But unfortunately, the opposite is true. We never want to stop energy from flowing through our bodies, because when we stop the flow of energy, we cut ourselves off from positive experiences of life too. You may not even be aware that you've been doing it because you've been doing it since childhood. Right now, you may feel disconnected from yourself because of this block. And most likely, you've created really powerful walls around these wounds. And this is going to make it impossible for you to reach that core, to reach that inner light that's really you. This is what's going to make you feel separate from everyone and everything in your life. So when we stop the energy flow within your body, it's going to move into your emotional field. And there, it's going to freeze the event in time and in energy. And this is what we call a block in your field. Now, this block is going to remain frozen, and it's going to affect your entire life until we thaw it out like a piece of meat. So we got to get rid of it. If you don't get rid of it, it's going to start to become very dense. And when it becomes very dense, this is what starts to make you feel sick. So the emotional energetic layer, this is where we store our emotions about ourselves. So when it gets contaminated by the trauma, our self-image, it's going to change. We're going to start to feel sad, or you may feel guilty or angry or shameful, whatever feelings that were tied to that experience. So let's get that crap out of your energetic field. So whether it's somebody else's energy, an old belief, an old program, a block, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't make you feel expanded and good, it's time to reclaim your avatar and get it out. Most of the programs we have were created in childhood, usually before we even knew what was going on. That's why it's such a good idea for you to reevaluate what you want to keep and update what you want to have, or simply get rid of the baggage. If it's not making you happy, if it makes you feel tight, if it's preventing you from reaching those superpowers in the quantum field, let's get rid of them. So I'm going to focus on your first 3 energetic light bodies and how they work. I'm going to simplify this to give you an awareness of what's going on. We're going to work our way down from the lightest to the densest. From the lightest to the densest. The lightest to the densest. We're going to go from the lightest to the darkest of all the light bodies. So if you look at this image, you can see how the gradient of light works. It's not about positive or negative. It's just about how much light your energy field holds. The 3rd energetic light body, this holds your thoughts. This is the level of self-perception. This is basically the level of how you think of yourself.
How would I describe myself? 3 words. Hardworking, alpha male, jackhammer.
I shared with you my experience. So with that, you can see how I might have created some thoughts about myself, like being a girl isn't safe, you can't trust boys, don't be too happy. And all these thoughts, they have a frequency. And unfortunately, it's a low one. So if I don't heal from the wounds of my past, every time I think those thoughts that were triggered by that event, my body's going to produce the same chemicals that were present when it first happened. And my subconscious mind, it doesn't know the difference between what happened in my past and what's happening now. That's why changing your thoughts are so important, because there's a chain reaction. Change your thoughts, change your life. The 2nd energetic light body is the emotional layer. This level is associated with how you feel about yourself. So when you're happy and you have positive programs, this layer is bright and colorful. But when you hold on to those old emotions tied to those old beliefs and old blocks and old programs, you may feel shameful, small, weak, sad, angry, guilty. This energy is going to appear dark like lead in your energy field. And what's going to start to happen? It's going to make you sick because it's going to ripple down into the physical. Let's become alchemists and shift this energy so it becomes light. So the first layer is the etheric energetic light body. This is the layer where you feel your pain and the tension in your body.
Oh, it's a deep burn. Oh, it's so deep.
This is where energy gets trapped and it gets stored. And it affects your nervous system, it affects your muscles, it affects even your cells. So again, you can see how being in your body could start to feel really uncomfortable. For me, if somebody just touched me gently, it could trigger me going back into that event, and I just feel like a cat that wants to leap on you because my body doesn't want me to forget. My body thinks it's just trying to protect me. That's why I may complain of a stomach ache or lower back pain or headaches, because your body does not want you to forget. Once I started to see my energetic light bodies in this way, I was able to start to identify where I was holding and storing all of these old programs. And I could do this from a space of awareness. So it became easier and easier to catch their effects when they were triggered without me having to live through all that pain that was attached to the story. I knew it was time to update my energetic light body and rewrite my blueprint. If the pain and the emotions are very strong for you, know that you can always reach out to energetic healers or counselors to help you through this process. You don't have to do it by yourself. My tips and my suggestions are simply a way for you to get started, for get that energy moving, and to help you to understand and know that you're not your body, you're not your thoughts, and you're not your emotions. Know that you are simply a light being having a human experience. We're just clearing out your avatar, that physical body, so that you can make more room for you, so that you can start to create the life that you are meant to live, so you can be happy. So these are just some tips that help me. You're going to need a pen and paper and a quiet space to do these ones. Tip number 1, let's start with your 3rd energetic light body, your thoughts. What are your thoughts about yourself? For example, I am happy. I am, write them in. Don't edit them. No one's going to read them. You can even burn them if you want afterwards. Once you write these down, you can start to rewrite and update these programs. So if you want to practice and go deeper with this energetic light body, I have a video to help you find high frequency words to replace those old ones. Tip number 2, your emotional energetic light body. I want you to find a quiet space where you're not going to be interrupted. Focus on your breath and tap into that second layer of your energetic light body. It's approximately 1 to 3 inches around your physical body. And notice what comes up for you. Do you see images, events? Can you feel them? Notice how you connect to this field. Does it feel expanded and full, or does it make you feel more like you're wearing armor around you? You can use your clairs. Do you remember the clairs? To help you figure out which way you connect to this level of your frequency. Write out your triggers. What ticks you off? What gets your blood boiling? Is it people, places, behaviors? Whatever it is, just write it down like a stream of consciousness. There are going to be emotions attached to these events that you never allowed yourself to express. But know, whatever comes up in your healing experience, from laughing, crying, being angry, just release it. Allow it to flow. We're building an emotional awareness, and this can help you to identify what's been affecting you. This way you don't have to store them in your mind or in your body. So whatever emotions that come up, know that this is a wonderful time to embrace them. You are tapping in and you're releasing trapped energy. You're doing the work. And remember, once again, you're not your emotions. They're just part of your avatar, just part of your physical body. They're there to give you a message and move on. You don't have to be identified with them. So once you start to release these emotions, you may want to go back and rewrite some of your thoughts about yourself so you can start to see how these energetic layers connect to each other in a space of awareness. Tip number 3. Now take your time with this one. Sit quietly with yourself. Notice where you're holding tension in your body and gently place your hand on that spot. I want you to imagine loving light flowing from above your head down into your heart, through your arms and out your hands. You're going to be your own healer, right? So I want you to allow whatever emotions to come up and out. You don't have to hold on to tension anymore. It's like releasing that trapped bird. Let it fly away, right? We're removing all that trapped old blocks and old energy by doing this. So take your time and allow your physical body to receive this upgrade. You may even start to feel lighter afterwards. So please understand, we're just getting our feet wet here. Energetic light bodies is a huge topic, huge. I just wanted to show you a little map so that you can start to unlock those past memories that are preventing you from having a happy life. So you can start to release that old baggage and start to connect to the quantum field. Why? Because the more light and love you bring into your body, your avatar, the stronger and more present you're going to become. You're going to become less matter and more energy. And this is going to help you to speed up and attract what you want. Manifestation! So I hope these exercises and tools help you to start to feel lighter and brighter in your life. And remember, you are light having a human experience. You're not your body, you're not your emotions, and you're not your thoughts. I'm sending you lots of love. If you want more information, I'm going to make a video on each energetic layer to give you a deeper understanding. Just hit the subscribe to be notified when the video comes out. In the meantime, check out my website for other tools and information that can help you on your journey. Until next time, I'm Marisa Grieco, your mystical guide.